Today on Country Pocket, we have Alexa Rose, who I think is one of the more promising young singer-songwriters out there today. Her new album is called Headwaters, and the song you just heard was the first track and the lead single called Clearwater Park. Alexa, how are you doing?
Hey, Trevor. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. What is it about the passage of time that inspired you to make this album?
Well, I think we were all navigating time differently last year, and it was really like our relationship to time based on how we are used to spending our time. You know, I think we were all forced to navigate our own time differently, and so I was doing that a lot because, like many people, I was just at home. You know, in the music industry, nobody was really able to tour, and if you wanted to play, you were doing online shows, and you were just having to sit with yourself a lot. But, you know, there was so much going on in the world so simultaneously. It just felt like a time where we really needed community and really needed music, and I personally felt just so stifled by having to be inside and not be able to connect with people at this time where, you know, we were experiencing so much at a global level. And yeah, I think it just made me reflect on the way I've been spending my time over the last decade or so and how quickly it's gone by. And that, you know, contributed to a lot of the songs on the record.
You're definitely looking at the past on a lot of these songs, looking at past relationships especially. So that brings me around to a line, I think, on the song Diamonds, where you say, you've learned to talk to the past like an old friend. What exactly does that entail?
Well, that song, as well as, a couple songs on the record turned out this way. They're all about different people from the past who I, you know, either had some kind of falling out with or just an old relationship, where I just drifted apart from people like everybody does. And I think that we can all be really hard on ourselves about keeping up with relationships, and or we go back, we comb through them, and we're like, well, you know, I could have done better, I could have been there more for this person, but at the end of the day, we're all just sort of trying to navigate our own paths. And I feel like I've had people in my life who have drifted apart from, who later have come to me and been like, oh, I'm so sorry we didn't keep up more. And you're always like, well, I was thinking the same thing about you. But there's just something really sweet about certain people who you share a certain chapter with that you can't go back to. And, you know, time, really there's no substitute for time, for being able to look back on those things and just wish that person well and smile. And so that's definitely what Diamonds is about.
Yeah, in Clearwater Park, I get the sense that having lost your friend's number in this day and age, that's not really an impediment to being able to reach to them and talk to them, but it's more the way things have changed in the time since, that even if you could talk to them, prevents you from going back to that chapter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a special magic that's contained in our memories of people and our memories of relationships, and it can be so sweet to catch up with people and reconnect with them. But what is really the most special thing is that those memories can't really be altered. You know, and that's what Clearwater Park is about. It's about always knowing that you're going to be able to get to your best friend's house by heart. Even when you're 80 years old, you could probably you could drop me off at the house I grew up in, and I could get you to that neighborhood where my friend lived. And there's just a couple people who we share those things with, the people we grew up with.
Yeah. Are you a nostalgic person, or is looking back a sort of more complicated experience for you?
Oh my God, no, I'm such a nostalgic person. I'm nostalgic about everything. I'm like the kind of person that'll hold on to a plane ticket or something, even when the words are worn off it and you can't even tell what it is anymore. I'm probably a little bit too nostalgic.
Oh, possibly, but memories aren't a horrible place to live, especially when you're, something like last year where there's no pleasant time at the moment to live in. So, why not? Why not go looking back? It's probably a little prettier than the future.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know. I think I'm just a really dream-headed person. I think a friend of mine and I have been joking around a lot recently about how people are either boats or anchors, and that we're both boats, and if you're a boat, your head's in the clouds and you really can only function if you have a couple anchors around you to keep you grounded.
Oh boy, am I a boat.
Are you a boat?
Yeah.
It's not a bad club to be in. I think it helps us be creative, So yeah, I'm definitely a boat, but I was actually thinking about that a lot when I wrote some of the songs on this record, and when I wrote the last track on the record, 1999, I was actually thinking I'm not really a boat or an anchor, because, at least a boat has some kind of structure and power of direction. I think I'm just like water.
Yeah, I was going to get to that, because you mentioned a couple times on this album how you expected to be raising kids or expected to be a steadier woman by this point in your life. Is it a bad thing, though, that you aren't those things?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm really happy with where I am, and I feel like, I feel like I've always just been floating through, but I don't look at it as a bad thing, and I don't really necessarily compare it to anything else. It's just, sometimes you pause when you're a person like me who just floats through, and you realize the only reason you're still floating through is because you've been really lucky, and I'm really grateful for any success I've had so far, because in a lot of ways it's really just thanks to all the boat people and anchor people who have helped me navigate it. I'm not really sure how I ended up here carving out a life in music, but it's really, really wonderful.
All right, we're going to take a listen to a standout track on the album called Pale Golden Flowers, and we will be right back.